lovely at the North Pole outside of Santa's headquarters. We are awaiting comment on what has been described as the worst Christmas delivery performance by Santa and his elves in modern history. Some people in Europe have not received their presents until very late, and most people in Eastern Asia did not get their presents until just hours ago. The Prime Minister of Japan has been criticizing Santa for poor route selections and is calling an investigation on alleged redlining by the ultra-right Christian organizations that are attempting to weed out non-believers. This just in, we have just received word from inside that Santa is reaching the podium to address the press. We now take you inside.
Just a few statistics and housekeeping before we get started. We visited 623 countries, delivered over 92 billion presents, 340 million pieces of coal in just over 14 hours across 24 time zones. We tasted over 30 million cookies and 29 million glasses of milk. The reindeer consumed 600 pounds of corn, 800 pounds of carrots, and caused some shrubbery damage in the Hamptons. Sorry about that, folks. Well, we encountered some heavy fog crossing into Norway that cost us just an hour. We switched to Google Maps this year, and because our internet connection dropped in the fog, we were pushed into some more traditional means of navigation, if you know what I mean. With Rudolph asking for a trade last week, we were essentially flying blind for the better part of an hour. When we left Argentina for Hawaii, Donner sprained one of his hooves, and that cut our knots by almost a third. We made up some time in Korea with the embargo and things, so we were able to complete our mission, but we're not really pleased with how we executed. The rest of the time is yours. Yes, you there with the gloves.
This pesky Pete from NCN. Santa, I'm normally a big fan, but you guys really smelled the joint last night and most of this morning. How much is attributable to elf strike in November?
The elf strike was unexpected, for sure, but we had contingencies in place, and we were able to meet all of our production requirements. It's not a production issue, I can assure you.
Monkey Mike, CBA. How much of the Rudolph trade rumors have spilled into the reindeer stables and caused morale issues with the rest of the team?
The Rudolph trade has been a distraction, I must admit. I've even lost sleep over it. Rudolph and I are very close. I'm afraid to admit that we are literally in uncharted territory this time. We missed the performance last night. He was very important to us. He brings a lot to the sled, and the other reindeer look up to him.
Curious Kurt from WIP. Santa, you've been criticized by many in East Asia for redlining. Is this true? And if it does your route and clock management reflect any agenda towards non-believers?
No, it doesn't. That's nonsense. Next question.
Monkey Mike again. I'd like to talk about practice. Did Rudolph's refusal to practice in the fall impact the efficiency of the sleigh?
I'm not going to badmouth Rudolph. I'm telling you. He's done a lot for us. He's been a great asset to the organization.
Santa, I've been freezing my fanny off outside waiting for your return. Could you please cut to the chase and explain what you're going to do to ensure that this doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
I understand about your concern, Lisa, and I'm sorry to hear about your fanny. Has it warmed up now?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Hannah Hotchick here. What about your plans?
We're doing everything we can, so we understand where we fail, and we're putting further contingencies into place to guarantee success next year.
Kurt here again. Santa, you claim to be nation agnostic. That is, showing no allegiance or favoritism to any one nation or race. Yet, you are an invention of the Western world and wear a gaudy red suit and speak in English most of the time. How do you address the President of Japan's allegations?
I know, Kurt. It looks like there's favoritism. Let me explain. The gaudy suit is not my choice. If I could, I'd be wearing something more conservative. It's red for safety reasons. I speak in English only because that's the language the reindeer respond to. The Emperor of Japan is feeling hurt, and I understand that. But his allegations are without cause. There's no conspiracy, no agenda, none. Next.
Santa, can you be specific about what measures you're planning to undertake?
Yes.
Well, can you be more specific?
Yes, sorry. I'm a stickler for precise speaking. Well, we're exploring the reversal of the main continent traversal plan and circumnavigating across Antarctica next year in an attempt to hit most of the southern hemisphere countries in a big loop, if you know what I mean. We're not committed to the idea just yet, but we have to notify all the security agencies in advance. We can't just drop in unexpected. Next question.
Monkey Mike, what will Rudolph's role be after the trade?
Yes. Yes. I really don't know what Rudolph's plans are. Next question.
Santa, how serious is Donner's injury? Is it career threatening? Donner's no yearling, you know. Is there anything you're keeping from us? Or not telling us?
Peter, it's me you're talking to, Mr. C. Why would I hide something like that? I'm not afraid of the press. It just doesn't make sense.
I'm not accusing you of deceit, but we have witnesses that only saw 7 reindeer over Labrador. How do you explain these sightings?
Donner was left at the University of Pennsylvania for observation. We expect he'll make a full recovery, but you never know with hoof injuries. They're very tricky, and it's his push-off leg we're talking about. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Hey, what are you doing here?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm here for the Bud Light.